Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Do you have the cards? No, do you have the, yeah, I didn't know if you had the card. Sure. I'm good.
Okay, I would like to call this meeting to order, 6:30 p.m. on February 11th, Tuesday, for the Committee of the Whole for Crete 201 School District Board meeting here. Okay. Who got it, Bill or Todd? Who has it? You taking a roll?
Thank you.
Taking roll call.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have a roll call, please, by our interim board secretary, Dr. Hall?
Mr. Albrecht,
Here.
Mr. Brown. Oh, I guess
Here.
I did you last, but Gallegos, not present. Hall is here. Swalish,
Here.
Sight Sombris, not present. Woolfolk,
Here.
what did I say next? That's it.
Okay. Let us stand for the pledge, led by Mr. Nelson Albert, and followed by our mission statement read by Dr. Hall.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our mission statement is to engage and empower our students to positively impact their community and future.
Thank you both.
Anytime.
All right. All right. Any written or present public comments? If not, we do have one.
We have one that came in.
One just came in. Is that the same? I think that's the same.
Oh, yes, you made it big for you.
Okay. And that name, Zozwiak. Okay, got a Miss Melissa Zozwiak. And the font is nice and big, so I should be able to read it. All right. Good evening. My name is Melissa Zozwiak, and my daughter, I'm gonna mess that up, Genevieve Van Drun, is a senior at Crete Monee High School. Noting the change in immigration enforcement, I would like to know the district policy regarding protecting our students. I read that other local school districts, such as Kankakee and Chicago Heights, have spoken out in support and protection of their students while in district care. I urge District 201U to do the same, declaring that our schools are a safe zone, will give students the opportunity to focus on learning. Please note the following. Please note the following. In Ply versus Doe, 1982, the U.S. Supreme Court established the right of all children to a free and fair public education, regardless of immigration status. That's bullet number one. Bullet number two, Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FER, FERPA, I think that's how, God, excuse me. Oh, sorry, apologize. Limits ICE's access to private data of students, including immigration status. Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is a federal statute which provides that any entity receiving federal funding, including school districts receiving funds from the U.S. Department of Education, may not discriminate based on race, color, or national origin. Bullet number three, the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act requires that schools enroll children who are considered homeless, including migrant children regardless of immigrant status. And number four, the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution protects students from unreasonable search and seizures and allows schools the authority to demand a judicial warrant before being given access to any students. The fifth bullet, the Illinois Trust Act of 2017 provides further protection, barring local and state police from honoring ICE detainer requests, and ICE warrants. Please provide a clear policy which 201U schools will follow to ensure that all staff and students know what to do if U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement attempts to enter our facilities. And that should be the only public. Okay. All right, do we have any board updates?
I apologize for being late. Sorry, everyone.
That's all right. The only one I have, I think, is we had Show Choir had their spectacular event here, which was pretty amazing. So we had 17 schools, 17 teams from, I think, 13 different schools come. So it was really a great Saturday. Junior high levels, high school levels.
Okay. Now, where was that at?
I was here
It was
at the
here?
high school.
Oh.
Not here in this building, but at the high school.
Wow. Wow. It's awesome, huh?
Yeah, it was good. And they start their season Saturday, so I know some of the other winter sports are going already, and I think I saw something in the FYI about the girls bowling, and our athletics are doing very, very well this winter.
Wow. Great news. Thank you, Bill. Anybody else? Anyone else? And I did receive an email just before I came here today, and it was just a taxpayer out there that I guess this was forwarded to me by a previous board member, and she saw this on Facebook. It was a safety matter, just a concrete bumper that was upturned with the two rebars sticking up over at Crete Elementary. In the meeting, I'll call you back. And I just want to share that. And public, if you see anything unsafe, contact the district, contact the principal, contact the school, that if the sooner we know about it or any school staff or employee knows about it, the faster we can remedy the issue. So it definitely is an unsafe issue at Crete Elementary, and I'm sure we didn't know about it, else we would have hopped on it.
Yeah,
Okay?
we'll take care of that.
All right. Thank you. And there was no other board updates?
I don't think so.
Okay. Go ahead.
No,
Did you?
no, sorry.
Okay.
They're leaving.
And my visit with myself and the principals, visiting the building, I thank board members for joining me and the superintendent. I did sneak in the one at the middle school. I didn't think it was going to happen, so there's no need for us to move further on that unless board members want to go on an individual basis. I did have an opportunity to sit down 45 minutes or so with the principal, Ms. Crusoe, at the middle school. So that leaves us with one more, Talala. Okay, but I do want to add, I thought about driving here, I would like to add Kelly. Here, do that too, okay? It's ELC,
Yeah, we're
and
gonna,
that'll be two.
we'll talk a little bit off schedule, but, or offline, but we've got an issue with tomorrow at Talala, so
Oh, we do?
we'll come up with a different date.
Okay, all right, yeah. Talala was on the list a month or so ago, but principal could not. I had some issues going on and could not make it. But we're knocking them out. Thank you, board members, all of you, for participating, and again, all you do. Really appreciate it. And we're moving forward with the Kids Summit. Had a meeting with Dr. Perkins and her team just a couple days ago, and I'm just so elated on how things are going and looking to possibly kick that off, hopefully start next school year, right? Right, Dr. Perkins? Yeah. All right, okay, keep it going. Anything we can do for you to help you out, please let us know. Or don't call me, I'll call you. All right. That should be it. If there's no other ones that would love to extend their voice for any board updates, moving right along to administrative up. Oh.
Should we do the reason why our seventh board member is not here?
You know what? And I meant, and
Do you
thank
want to
you.
do that, or
I
do it
actually,
now, or different?
I don't know if it's appropriate. I meant to have a moment of silence for her. Is that appropriate?
Yeah,
Can I do that now?
yeah.
Okay. I would like to have a moment of silence for one of our dedicated board members who lost their loved ones, her husband. Definitely a shock, definitely shock. And, you know, the family is grieving, and we just want to reach out to them in any manner, any shape or form we could. So, and I just want to let her know we're here for you. Anything we can do, let us know. So I'd just like to have a moment of silence for those reasons. Thank you. Thank you, Alex. All right. Administrative updates?
So, as many of you probably already know, due to the weather, I was just going to remind everybody that we were able to swap out one of our early release days for an early release day tomorrow, so it's not going to cost us an E-day. So we did call that for the weather, and I know a lot of other districts did as well. So we hope that our staff gets here safely and home safely as in tomorrow, and hopefully Thursday will be all cleared so that we can get everyone back on Thursday. Earlier this week, we had our second annual safety symposium. We had 70 people registered this year. That was probably times 3 that it was before. We had, you know, at least half of that actually did attend. It was very well attended. We have 12 presentations that took place here, and we were able to videotape that and get some good responses. I'll be sharing that with you as soon as the video comes in, and we'll be able to push that out on our social media as well. You know, again, it's just another way of showing how communities and districts are coming together to share and network with one another. About the good things that are going on, and I just want to reassure our community again about the good work and the safety that we have put together here for our students and our staff. It has been very successful. So I just wanted to give a shout out for our staff. We had quite a few of our principals participating, and of course Robin Tobias was at the head helping to present. So anyway, that was really well attended. So I just wanted to give a shout out for our staff on that. That's all.
That's it?
Yep. Do you want to go, do I want to go to number 2?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So item 2, we just wanted to put on there to have you aware, can't believe it already, but we've got board elections coming up in April. It's just a matter of weeks. And we wanted to make sure that we could create a date to install our new board members for a reorganization. So we will need to create a special board meeting on May 6th because I think our committee of the whole was going to be a little bit later. So I just wanted to open up that for discussion about creating an extra board meeting that week.
So would we turn May 6th into the committee of the whole and just make it a special meeting? Or would you do 3 in a row? Either way doesn't matter, but...
Yeah, the only reason why I did it, well, usually with the committee of the whole, I always have to make sure that we don't have any business items because anybody coming in is not going to know what they're doing or voting on anything. So I think we could decide to do either way. Good point. Well, if we do it a committee of the whole, we could do any business items that need to finish it off and then do the reorg after that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think, during committee of the whole, we don't do business items, basically.
Right, as far as discussion.
We don't vote on anything.
Correct. So yeah, we could do that, so we don't have to have 3 that month. So maybe just move that committee of the whole meeting from the 10th to the 6th. I mean, that certainly works. Is that good for everybody?
I think you would need to install the new board members first, because they're already going to be elected.
Do the restructuring at the beginning.
Do the reorg first.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we can discuss. And again, remember, committee of the whole is just
That way they can
discussion.
participate in the discussion if there are discussion items
Sounds
or ask
good.
questions.
All right, we'll take care of that. You've got that, Cheryl, right? We'll just do the whole reorg that day.
When do we have to do it by law?
is it 45 days?
45 days, I believe, yeah, and I think that's what it counted
So
out
this
to.
is way within that. right?
Yes, it is.
Because it's early, I think.
April
It's-
1st,
it's
yeah.
45 days from the election, not
Correct.
45 days from certification. Okay.
Do you remember that? Yeah, because I know we spent some time doing accounting on that.
Okay.
And like I said, moving that up 1 week, the committee of the whole, if we move that up 1 week, this is our discussion time. I don't think, we're not voting, we're not being pressurized and anything.
Right.
And then that'll give us 2 weeks to talk about any of this. That'll give the new board members 2 weeks to then ask questions amongst us
Right.
that are already seated, or you or your team, to see if to make a decision.
So let me ask council, if we're going to take action with the reorg, does that make it a special board meeting?
I would think so.
Or just how do I word that on the agenda?
No, just part of your agenda would be the reorganization
Okay, got
part
it.
of it. Just like when we do a review of budgets, there's part of your committee of the whole meetings that, our budget meetings. So,
But that's
Okay.
not an action.
Would you do it this?
We're not voting on that.
Well, no, but don't you
Yeah.
have to, do you appoint,
We do,
have to
we do vote.
point-
So my thing is, I
Yeah,
just assume it
yeah.
would be like the August board
Yeah.
committee of the whole, where we make it a special board meeting so that we can take action for Dr. Eric,
Yeah.
so that he can get employees stated
right,
earlier.
right,
I just assume the same thing.
yeah.
I
But isn't there
think
action
that
with
we're
the,
taking some actions to
Voting
approve
on
of-
who's going to be in whatever role on the
Yeah.
board?
Yeah, we do take action on that and vote
So
on that.
that's what I said, so it's just
So
a
it's gotta
special
be
board
probably a
meeting, but,
special board meeting.
right, that's what I'm saying.
One a special, and then one a special.
Special and regular, yeah, I got it, we'll eliminate just the committee of the whole. Okay, that was all I wanted to add. It's May
May?
6th, I don't know what day that is, I don't have my
That's a
calendar.
Tuesday, so we're saying the 6th and the 13th, or the 6th and the 20th?
20th.
6th and the 20th, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Let me just double check, yeah.
The 20th, we would leave the business the same date.
That'll be our regular board meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do the 6th and the 20th, that would just leave a week in between. So, okay. All right, that's all I had.
Okay. Jason, you're up.
Yep.
Good evening, President Brown, other distinguished members of the Board of Education, Dr. Kara Coglanis. I'm here to open discussion regarding the proposed repair for the Crete Elementary roof. This would mark the second consecutive summer. Last year, we identified 14 sections of the roof that need to be replaced. We were able to complete 6 sections of the roof. Actually, with a pretty late start. Keith, correct me if I'm wrong. We began in late July, correct? Yeah, and we were still able to repair those 6 sections without any interruption to student learning or teachers returning to the building. Initially, this was proposed as a 3-phase plan over 3 summers. We went out this year, and due to getting out in advance and the familiarity with the contractor through the Omnia co-op, they're proposing that we complete the project and do the remaining 8 sections of the roof this summer. So pricing was obtained through the National Cooperative Contractor Network administered by Tremco and Omnia. So this is just open discussion, looking to take action next week. And then this will complete the roofing project at Crete Elementary the summer of 2025 and not leave anything to be done in the summer of 2026.
So we'll be done a year early.
Yes, sir.
And are we still within or under budget?
Yes, we're within budget. It's going to go over about $93,000 from the most recent short-term plan. But we're looking at replacing a lot of sections. And initially, it was a kind of a repair restore section. After getting in there and taking a look at the roof that old, we noticed some things that probably weren't going to be good for a restoration for this type of money. So recommend replacing all those sections. At least one section, I believe it's section J.
And the amount of overage you're talking about on the total contract amount is very little.
Correct. And then everything came in within the contingency. And also, when I update the short-term facility plan, I will have a 10% contingency in for the roofing project.
And
at
then
Crete
that'll
Monee.
fall within that contingency.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Jason, do we have any guarantee or what's the life expectancy of these roofs? And if you could, you don't have to answer this now, but if you could go back and see the roof that we replaced, did we take it down to bare? Did we have other layers there, or these are, I guess, bituminous type of roofs? And just how long the old ones was before the need to replace them. I'm just curious to see what's the 30-year, 20-year. I know.
Yeah, I can see what the manufacturing and installation warranties cover. I would do that.
Yeah.
You know, going back, since the other one had 14 different elevations, I could try and source that information from you. I could tell you that we got a lot more years out of it than probably what they planned for, but I can definitely look at the new information for you.
Yeah. Don't break your neck try to get it. But I'm just curious to see, is these 50 years, 60 years, or the roof's going to last longer than the building, or do we get 10 years out of these? I don't know.
I'll be sure to look into that, including the FYI.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for coming in early on this too. You say we're finishing up 2025?
Yes, sir.
And
Well,
it was
you're going to
expect-
start in probably second week of June, and the way they got after it last summer, they were honestly a pleasure to deal with. Real great communication through our weekly meetings, and I anticipate the same result.
Okay. Thank you. Any
You're welcome.
questions? All right. Thank you, Jason.
I'm actually up for
Oh,
another
you
one.
had,
here.
oh, you got number two. You got another two. Okay. I don't want you. No, you're not getting away that easy.
Here to open a discussion just regarding the resolution directing the sale of the property Monee Education Center located at 5154 West Main Street in Monee, Illinois via the sealed bid process in accordance with the provisions of Section 5-22 of the Illinois School Code. Mr. Gleason's office has prepared the resolution. They've also prepared the bid docs. I spoke with him. He will be producing the notice to bid for me, and my intention is, if approved, next Tuesday to have the publication ready to go in the Daily Southtown. It must run for 3 successive weeks. And we will also advertise the minimum floor bid, which, as we discussed, are 90% of the appraised value. So we're going to look for a sales price of $615,000, and then a minimum floor that we would be willing to accept would be $553,500. In the event that we don't get any bids, we can see what our other options are and revisit that. But my intention is to go out with publication on the 19th and have a bid opening on March 13th, and then hopefully take action on the sale at our board meeting on March 18th.
Are you going to have any type of mandatory bid meetings prior to?
I'm not necessarily going to have a mandatory bid meeting, considering that we're selling the property as is.
Okay.
What I'm probably going to do is provide like about a 4-hour window for any prospective buyers to come in and, line up any type of inspections that they would like to, just to take a look at the property. But as I said, we will not be obligated to do any repairs because it will be sold as is.
Okay. Are you looking to do any questioning and answering for the public? If they have some questions, give them a time frame of a week or whatever, and you put it out there. That's typically some things you do, but if not, then that's not a problem. People might have some questions, and you can answer them and put it on the website for everybody to see what those questions were and what those answers was.
Yeah, I can treat that similar to our transportation bid if need be.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for making some progress on this. Get this off our plate.
Thank you.
You don't need to cut the grass this summer. No more. All right. Okay. Do we have any old business?
I actually have something. Jason, is there any way we can contact the bus company and prepare them for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday? Some of the highs are in the teens, so that means it's going to be 0 at night, preparing the buses, because I don't know how many e-learning days you have, but there's 3 or 4 consecutive days where in the morning these kids, it'll be 0 degrees, -2 with no wind chill. So making sure the buses are prepared, whether they're brought in, they're plugged in, the diesel engine should be plugged in, but as long as they're prepared for it.
I'll be sure to communicate that with the regional supervisor.
Okay, that was old business or new business?
That was old, because we talked about it, I think, in the last month.
I just want to chime in on that bus issue. I saw on TV day before yesterday, I believe, or yesterday, that one school district could not, they had to shut the school down and take an e-learning day because
Catalytic converters.
Yeah, the catalytic converter termites got out there, human termites got out there and stole so many of the
I think there were
catalytic
30
converters.
buses they took in one night.
Wow. So I'm just curious, even though we don't own the buses, but I'm wondering what type of safeguard our company that we use have to protect their buses, because it is an impact.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's,
Yeah,
I haven't heard of bus fleets being hurt like that. I've heard of
Yeah.
U-Haul parking lots, or U-Haul
Yeah,
stations
they
getting hit like
they
that.
Had a
So,
school district and shut the school district down for that particular day.
yeah, no, I mean, to be honest with you, if you lost 30 catalytic converters and if you could actually procure those and get them all replaced the following day, that's a pretty tall order, but
Okay.
I'll also inquire about that.
Yeah, what type of security they have out there watching their buses? Again, that's not on us, but it does.
It does
It
affect
does
us, I
impact
understand.
us.
It affects us.
It does.
It would have.
Yes, big time.
Do you know where that occurred at?
It was
Troy?
close. It wasn't far.
Troy?
Yeah, it was Troy.
Troy.
Yeah, that's
School
right.
District.
Yeah, and Illinois passed something, whether it was 30 or 60 days ago. There was something. I don't know the time frame, that you can no longer a junkyard can no longer, a scrapyard can no longer accept the catalytic converter without. I think the VIN, like there's a procedure now, and if they get caught, I think it's a federal offense
Mm. Wow,
because of that.
wow. Electric buses. Okay,
I've got another old business.
go ahead.
In one of the January FYIs, there was a comment about that Will County Clerk had said the district was able to capture another $500,000 or so to the levy, to 2024 levy. And this amount is designated to make the district whole for any tax refunds resulting from assessment appeals. If the district desires to abate the amount from the levy, a resolution must be passed no later than March 18th. And I know the last 2 years we have abated it.
Yeah.
My recommendation this year would be not to, given that we've got a budget shortfall. So,
Thank you.
Duly noted.
so just,
And when,
I'm agreeing with Nelson, except for one thing. If there's a possibility, you know, your team could put together that where maybe at the end of our fiscal year, would that help us and impact us?
Basically, half the amount would be applied to our levy. So of the 509,000 Nelson mentioned, that would be applied in June. So yes, it would help us. More importantly, when it comes to something like this, if you don't capture it, then it kind of follows you every subsequent year as it keeps going, because it's the only time to capture it. So yeah, if you don't, then you do lose that levy amount in perpetuity.
I still think before we vote on that, I think we should at least look to see if there's a possibility of abating, because it is, you know, it's money to the taxpayers. And we've been doing it, I think we did it 3 years?
3 times, well, at least 3 times. I think.
Yeah, at least 3 where we abated it back, where we didn't accept the money. So I would really like to see how much of a financial impact that would, because if we can do that, it'd be great, but if not, and you, in the need, then I think Mr. Albrecht's right, I think then maybe we move forward, but at least a better forecast on what your projection is for the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we have a balanced budget. That's our intent.
Very close to it.
Yeah, after we amend the budget, and I'm sure we're looking to do that, but it's not a whole lot. You know, we talk about $500 when it's dispersed out.
Right.
You know, average family might get $20, $30, but that's
a lot more this, I think it's a lot more this year than it
Okay.
was
the
I
last
seem to
year?
recall previous years it was like 200,
Was it that
250,000.
much?
Yeah.
Per person?
300,000, something like that. It was
Yeah.
lower.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
but
per
at
person.
at the
probably.
time, we were on budget too.
Yeah.
So,
In person, and again, I'm not downplaying this, you know, every penny is important to families. So, but if we can, if we
Right.
have an out, that's our goal.
Right, if it's important to help get to our balanced budget, then that's really important. So then I think Mr. Albrecht's right.
Yeah, because we have,
If we needed to go by March, when would we?
what did you say, March? Is that,
March
We need to
18th.
take action on
March
it by
meeting?
March 18th because it needs to be submitted by April
What
1st.
date is that?
So we're looking at maybe committee of the whole then, in March?
Could be,
yeah.
We would have we put together something for you.
if we
Yeah,
needed to
look
abate it,
Look
yeah.
at our,
We could maybe try to do something preliminarily, throw it in the FYI so you can see what it is.
Right.
And if we want to pursue it, we'll throw it up on the committee of the whole.
Okay,
and, you know, I still, again, yeah, we may have a,
Because March 18th is the regular board meeting.
yeah, that sounds like it. But I would like to, if we split the difference, just again, showing good faith to the taxpayers. Both ways it shows good faith.
and part of,
Yeah.
so the next part is new business, and one thing I was gonna bring up, which is exactly what Mr. Albrecht's talking about, is that in our FYI, we had the life safety breakdown, and that totals about 542,000. And if we understand, the last life safety took, what, 12 years to 11 years to accomplish? You know, and it was
Hold it.
It was really big.
Will you say 12 years, 11 years to accomplish, to finish?
Well, remember, we had our study, and then it took us a long time because we had started a facility plan.
By law, technically, it should take 5 years
Right.
to address the life safety.
Yeah, because I
issues.
think it was a
It was
2013
a
or
2013, technically 2014, so 5 years. 2019, we should have been finished with all of.
and
those
I think
life
we
safety
started
issues.
in 22 maybe.
Yeah, we got a little step behind.
Right.
You know, but
So with this one, it's 542,000 the approximate cost. So meaning
Yes.
if we can achieve that type of goal
that's
with that type of, with that, then that may wash itself, but that's what I wanted to bring up tonight. And actually, whether, I didn't mean to jump to new, but that kind of goes hand in hand there because the numbers are very close.
was
So,
that 500 some odd thousand. That was cumulative.
Yes,
An
sir.
aggregate.
Yeah,
for-
between the 6 buildings. And that
500
includes
something.
architectural fees and 10% contingency.
That you said it does.
Yes, it does.
500 some $500,000
about 542,000, give or take some change.
for all of the schools that's required under 10 years.
Yeah,
That
for the
was our
6
total.
buildings that are up, it'd be ELC, Talala, Balmoral, CSK,
Middle school,
middle school. It's
Yeah,
everything
Crete
except
Elementary.
the high school in Monee. I know which ones aren't included more than I do
Yeah.
which ones are.
That is awesome compared to.
Yeah.
to
What was
last
what was it
14
last time?
About
Over
14
10 million?
Yeah, right, I mean,
14 million.
you talked about that an awful lot on how we were going to achieve that.
Yeah,
And this facility, that we did for 3 years, achieved that.
that is.
Even
that
though
is
it went longer,
awesome.
it achieved it. But this number is something we don't want to
Wow.
linger, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's my intention in my communications with Keith, is that since it is so small and knowing what you guys did previously and address something that was kind of put off for a little while, we want to take care of this as soon as possible, to be
But
honest
we got to
with you.
watch it because we have to put a plan together and we have to, depending on, it's predicated on how critical it is. Okay, the most critical first year to the least critical the 5 years after that. So it's a 5-year plan that we have to share with the regional superintendent and they share it with the state or vice versa, right? For the life safety survey, right? So if 5 years, I mean, we can short cycle it, but we do have 5 years and
I would
still
think,
sooner than later.
I would think that if anything, we break it into 2.
Yeah,
Come
that's
with a
right.
plan and say, we'll do these 3 this
Yeah.
year and these 3 the next year.
We have the money,
So that we have it
$500
already
million.
budgeted out and it's all done.
Right, but we just want to say, we do have 5 years to do it. So, good.
Okay.
Excellent, thank you. Thank you for getting that too, Jason,
problem.
getting that done. Excellent. All right, any other old business? New business? Yeah. I had sent the board some information a couple weeks ago regarding the immigrant issues and with ICE and a possible resolution that may be coming our way. I sent a couple documents regarding the policies that we have already in place as far as protecting our students in a safe manner, equal protection under the law for students, so on and so forth. So we had a board member that sent a resolution out as a copy, a draft, bless you, and we heard the public comments regarding having our school as a safe haven and having a resolution incorporating those things that we need to do within the law. And I took that draft, and we had that's submitted by one board member, and we had our council look at it. They fine-tuned it, and did everybody have a copy of this?
The fine tuning came in late this afternoon.
Okay.
With the extras.
Is this on here? Is the fine-tuned?
Yes, for you to look
This
at.
is fine-tuned?
Yes.
Okay.
Just for you to
So I just wanted to know, have a little discussion on this and ask the board, how they feel about incorporating the resolution. I feel strongly about it personally, and I'm sure the board member, if you want to talk on it, how you feel about it, have at it. Open for discussion. What's your thoughts on it?
I guess my question, am I on? Does this add any new policy or any new protections that we don't already afford all students under our policies or the law?
Yeah, our office reviewed it.
Yeah.
I think I can unequivocally say the answer to that is no. This is not a statement of new policies or
So
new
we already do
procedure,
all
new
these things for all
protocols. I
students.
think
I think
this
it's
is
just
a
kinda kept to the
reinforcement.
one.
This is a reinforcement, public reinforcement of all the protections that are already afforded to students and their families.
Reinforcement, meaning it's just gonna be it's a resolution on top of a policy?
I think it's again, best I could. I talked to council and superintendent, and I talked to council a couple weeks ago prior to me sending that information out to all of you, just kind of tidbits of the conversation and reviewing those policies. I believe I sent you a couple of those policies to say, we kind of, in the spirit, we're doing what this resolution is saying. It's just, we got a policy here, we got a policy here, policy here. And coupled with some little caveats here and there, I think all of our policies protect us. It meets the spirit of this, but this kind of just bullet type or centers all of those issues with the policies, or what I don't want to say issues, but those policies does for us and for our students, kind of put it all in one document here. So that's, again, as council alluded to, there's nothing really created different than what we kind of already
So
have.
prior to the resolution, no one can come into any of our buildings and take any of our children, right? Right?
Yes, we have procedures that are in place, and those were reiterated to our staff as well.
But they're already in our policies, right? They can't do that.
Correct.
Regardless, before this is even here, they can't come in and do anything. Right? And it's
Without a warrant.
And it's spelled out in our policies that way.
Yeah, without a federal warrant, not an administrative warrant, but without a federal warrant. And you can speak more on that.
I mean, I think I'm sorry, I mean, here's where I get at. I understand the public comment, but we already have stuff in place to protect our kids. That's what having a policy and having that's what the seven of us do. So there's no, the only thing I don't get is why we're kind of doing a double thing. right? If we already have it in place to protect them, employees, right, and students. Sorry, Eric, go ahead. I mean, I'm right?
no,
I
I
mean,
don't have
correct me
much
if I'm wrong. I think we already have everything in place.
The resolution, I think, reads as a reiteration of, and like board president said, of like having everything together in one document of things that truly you either have in place by virtue of board policy or a restatement of law. You know, like the Illinois School Student Records Act and FERPA, you know, and a restatement of certain state laws that the district is obligated to follow by virtue of it being a school district.
And I think what's important for us is the procedures that you put together for your team. More than this, right? Because the procedures need to be followed so that nothing happens, right? So that's my thing. I just want to make sure that, you know, the public comment was commenting on that almost like we don't have anything in place, but we do.
Do we know what the procedure is?
With the policies?
Yeah.
No, the procedure.
Procedure.
Yes, those procedures were developed with council as well, and those were distributed to our administration that week to reiterate exactly what they needed to do.
So you know what the procedure is.
I do.
Okay, so can you tell us what the procedure is?
All right, so I think starting if somebody comes to the school, you know, our policy does allow people to come into the school. They are held, they state their business. Administration is called in. It depends if they have a warrant for a certain, with a name on it, then we would then call me and I call our council. And there's a discussion on how that is relayed. No student is taken out without first notification of parents and so forth. If they do not have a name on a warrant and so forth, they are not allowed to enter the building. They cannot walk through the school, and they are stopped there in the waiting area.
I think there was some challenges.
Anything?
Well, yeah, actually, it's a little more robust than that as well.
Yeah.
Just to round it out, I mean, the procedures also are very clear that no student records are given out, no identifying information about individual students, no information about immigration status is ever given out.
And that's regardless of who comes to the building. Our kids are
that's
safe.
That's regardless, but they have been specifically, like, you are one of many school districts that have requested our office to draft procedures, and I know that the school district has implemented those procedures, so they've been specifically spelled out in the last several weeks.
And now, on top of the school, the building, with the administration and everything, do we have any policies in regards to students getting off the bus? Because, you know, say a bus gets tailed and then someone that looks like me walks off the bus, can they then, I mean, I don't know.
I think it's too hard to track that, and no different, but even if it was a bad adult trying to do that with a kid, I think that the district can only put safeguards in place, but once they're off the bus, I mean, I think that'd be really challenging.
Yeah, our responsibility, where's the line drawn, where's the line
Well,
of
technically,
demarcation?
if I'm wrong, we're technically responsible from port to port, right?
Well, if you haven't already, I mean, I presume your contract with the transportation company says that they're responsible for getting that child to the door.
Right, that's
to
what I
the
would.
bus stop, and so that's where
You say to the door.
To the door.
what?
to their home.
Right,
Their
because
drive- their
technically you
driveway.
should,
Their driveway.
what my understanding is port to port, door to door. That's,
Oh,
I mean, not that the bus has, but the district is responsible.
If there's to
until
the
they
bus
get
stop
home.
is your port. Because there's no
Yeah,
way if
not
they
the
walk
door.
2
That's
blocks to that.
Yeah, my son did, when he was in school, got dropped off whole block.
No, I
Almost a
get
block.
that. I'm saying I'm trying to clear up my understanding. When they say port to port, because you know, you walk, I get that. Is it from our door to once they finally walk into their door, or just
No,
the bus
no,
stop?
right, to the bus stop.
That's
Bus
the,
stop.
considered, okay, I get it.
Yeah, because the bus stop is technically our responsibility, that
get 'em
corner or wherever they get dropped
The
off.
pickup point.
Got it,
Yes.
okay.
Excuse me, I do just want to share that all the protocol that was shared with the secretaries at each building was also shared with the bus company and the bus driver, so they're aware of the protocol. They also have my cell phone number, Dr. Kara's cell phone number, and Mr. Robin Tobias' cell phone number, in addition to Katie Cooper, to notify us immediately if there's anything like that occurring at a bus stop.
And again, I don't think we're looking to do anything outside of our policies, and we're not looking to break any laws whatsoever. We're not looking to circumvent things here. We're just looking to abide by our policies and the laws of the land to protect our kids. And there was one question came up as well, Dr. Coglanese, as far as single point of contact. So if, for example, if ICE came to the middle school and wanted to apprehend a child there, who's the single point of contact? Is it the principal, or do we direct them to, or is the principal direct them to you? Or is it the single point of contact to address their concerns?
They would call me immediately. So they
Okay,
would
so-
hold them there, and then they make the phone call to me or somebody in my executive team.
Okay. So technically, you're the single point of contact per se. Okay. They're not to be directed to come over to your central office, right? You address the issue there at the school.
Probably where they stand, wherever they think they're trying to conduct their business.
They can be contained there.
Right.
Okay. Board members okay with that?
I'm a little concerned with the resolution because I think the public, I think 50% of the public will think this is great. I think the other half will think that we're going out of our way. They're not going to understand that we already provide all these protections, and they're going to look that we're somehow providing favoritism to a certain, cohort.
Well,
within
I'm thinking a different way. I think they're gonna be frustrated that, like, you didn't have this in place already. I mean, look at the public comment, kind of thinking we don't have
Yeah.
nothing in place already. That's kind of that's
To me,
what I think
it's
people are.
already in our policies and it's law. To me, it just seems like something we're doing. It's almost a virtue signaling. So that's my personal take on it.
It's perception. It's like everything we've been dealing with for 6 years. We need to you have to get the message out and send it out constantly. Your kids are safe. Like, I mean, I understand Talala experienced, a down, but that was our responsibility, the administration team, to get that word out that this is what it states. It's safe here. Your kids, blah blah blah. That's really our thing. The school districts, that's our responsibility to relay that message. Kind of like everything we're doing with, getting the good stuff out, right? So we have an incident a week ago in the high school, and someone posted a video from 6 years ago. So that's a problem, right? So my thing is, it's about relaying. It's about us as a district relaying it to our family, saying this is our space, regardless of what happens, and expressing that. Now I know it shouldn't have to be a resolution, because my concern is that person there that sends it has no idea that we already have that in place.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is the perception isn't there.
I agree, and then go ahead, Dr. Hall.
I guess I'm a little confused of what like, I'm trying to put the best way, like, what's the issue? Is there an issue with redoing, just stating this, just pointing out to the public? I'm trying to understand what's the
I guess the biggest
I'm trying
thing
to
is,
get the
if you
understanding.
printed this out and sent this out to the public, that would be great. Let them know this is what we have in our policies and stuff. But we're creating a resolution, right? I mean, it's kind of like, that's just the part I'm not understanding, creating a resolution to that. Communicate it out to our parents.
So basically, it's like We already have something in place.
Yeah.
So do we have to create a resolution?
Well,
Or
we
could we
got-
just pull it and just point it out and say, this is what we
Yeah,
have in
if
place
so,
already?
and explain the procedure. If something happens, this is what's gonna
This is what
happen.
happened.
Make
Okay.
them
I was just
feel like, hey, we don't care what's happening out here, but here, when you send your kids or when your husband or wife comes to our district, this is what's gonna happen. They're gonna be safe. Really, I mean, I think that
Yeah, and I look
relaying
at
that
it-
message is more important to me.
Yeah, I look at it, we are a very diverse community. And as Alex alluded to, he said people that looks like him, and they're feeling the impact of what's been going on. And this is just, to me, this is a resolution saying we resolve this, that we are here for you, even though we have this policy over here that says this policy that says this policy that says that. I personally don't see any harm with just a document. And in and of itself, a resolution, be it resolved, right? We're saying here, we're here for not only you, but we're here for you too, even though it appears like, everybody turned their back on you, okay? That's how I'm looking at it. If I was a person that looked like Alex, I would probably think it, hey, if it was African Americans being, possibly taken out to school, I would definitely want something to say, you got my back. You got my back here. By your policies, whatever. Now, could it be, to make it easy, I would say something like this. The intent out there with all of our policies, yeah, it's out there. We are meeting it, and that's the letter that I sent you guys. We're meeting the spirit of this resolution. So if with someone look like Alex, as he alluded to, hey, you know what? Alex, does this make you feel better?
It does.
And people that look like you, that you have came across, it makes them feel better?
That would be important, yeah.
And I've always been told if there's an initiative out there that doesn't negatively affect one person, but positively affect somebody in one way, and doesn't negatively affect the community, and I don't see this affecting the community personally, but it positively affect at least one person, it's a good initiative. It's a good policy. That's what I've been taught. So I'm for it personally, and just want to know the consensus.
No, just one way or another for me. Here's my final thought on this. It's all good. It's paper. But if the procedures aren't followed,
Yeah, absolutely.
it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's only as good as the ink that's on
And
it.
again, we've had stuff in place here, right?
Yeah.
And procedures sometimes haven't been followed in the last 6 years.
Right.
So our policy and whatever we did, we take a lot of heat for that because the procedure wasn't handled right.
I have a question. Can you just share what the communication plan has been since the executive orders and what our communication plan will be for the rest of the school year? Can you share?
I can tell you what we did initially.
Okay.
I can tell you what we did initially because we did respond as quickly within 6 hours of that day, as I recall, because it did come as a shock, I think, to many of our families. We did send a letter out to our Spanish-speaking families that this was impacted. We shared information with our administrative team, and the administrative team shared it with all of their staff about how we were going to address that. That is basically what we did.
Plans to further communicate? I guess to your point, sometimes you have to hear things a couple times to make me feel at peace about a situation that may be hypersensitive to a specific community. Is there plans to continue these conversations?
I think we were kind of wait to see what was going on. Like I said, this, as Mr. Albrecht pointed out, no matter how we do this, we're going to have 50-50. So I think we wanted to wait to see what the needs were in our schools. For example, we've been watching the attendance carefully. The attendance initially was down, and then we started seeing students coming back into school, feeling a little bit more safe. They're still experiencing uncertainty in their lives. So I think we're monitoring it to see what our next moves are. I think that's kind of where we're at.
And then legally, from a state perspective, Are our policies any different than any school district to say that ICE is not allowed to just take a child out of the school premises that way? Are our policies any different than any other school district? I guess I'm trying to understand how come is the state responding, and then are we umbrella underneath them to then further secure people's emotions? Does that make sense? My question?
I know the state board has responded in some manner, in general, for all of the school, all 800 and some odd school districts here in Illinois. So are our policies different than other school districts? Probably so, but for the most part, they are incorporating a lot of what you should press plus and things like that to come our way, to say, hey, we get things from our council and say we need to make sure we got this policy here and there. So there are some general policies that all school districts share, but every school district is a little different on their policies.
But isn't it illegal no matter where you go?
According to some of the things, establishment law and things like that, that's of the 14th Amendment, those are legal binding constitutional rights there. And I'm sure, I don't say I'm sure, but I will hope all school districts have things such as that. And that's a policy we have, and we incorporated that statement into the resolution. So, and again, we're not trying to circumvent any laws or anything, but just kind of giving some type of insurance for those students that, as Alex said, it looks like him, and saying that we're not trying to do anything illegal, but just ensure that we're following the law and we're going to adhere by the law best we could to protect you.
So I guess where I'm going with all that questioning is about our position and being proactive as opposed to reactive, and if we have any opportunities to just be extremely transparent, extremely communicative to the community. Alex's community is not the only immigration issue that probably has stemmed some fear, so I just imagine that it might behoove us to want to be proactive and transparent as possible and just share to rest assure the communities that we serve. That's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Yeah, like Nelson said, you're gonna get a split out there. You're gonna get, we're a very unique school district in more ways than one, and that's why I'm so blessed to have a unified, very diverse board here. And we have to look at both sides of the fence, but at the end of the day, we have to do what's right, following all the laws, all of our policies, and definitely adhere to some balancing act best we could. And this is kind of challenging us here.
So will this be on the agenda for a vote next week?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. If you guys see anything you may want to change or add to it, please send it to the superintendent. Okay. All right, thank you. Any other new business? Hearing none, we do have a reason to go into closed session for the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individual. Can I have a motion to go into closed session for reasons stated?
Wait a minute. Is that the only reason? Or do you have another one?
That's it, isn't it?
Are we talking
Talk about the
are we
building.
talking about MEC?
Talk about the building, let me see. I don't think so.
Okay. I thought we were.
We do, it's gonna take about 2 hours, and that kind of motion? No. No, we did, we had that.
Okay, so moved.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So, moved by Bill, second by Dr. Hall. Any questions or comments? If not, how long roughly?
45 minutes.
We will be in closed session in approximately 44 minutes, and we will not take any action thereafter. Thank you, public, for joining.
Wait, roll call.
We got a roll call.
I sure have a roll call. You all caught me on that.
All right, Mr. Albrecht?
Aye.
Mr. Gallegos is an aye. Mrs. Sawalish?
Aye.
Ms. Woolfolk?
Aye.
Dr. Hall?
Aye.
President Brown?
Aye, we are in closed session. Thank you. Thank you, public, for joining. Appreciate it.
You can always